Blessings, friends. It's Maia here with an astro update. Today we have a total lunar blood moon eclipse at 12 degrees of Virgo. Those of you who have planets in the mutable signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, or placements around 12 degrees in your natal chart, will likely feel the effects of this eclipse the most. Eclipses are a time of swift change. Life events tend to occur around eclipses that will mark significant turning points in our year. Eclipses can be felt most prominently 6 weeks to 3 months before, during, and after its occurrence. Eclipses also help to deepen and realign us on our soul's path through situational occurrences that can sometimes feel fated or even out of our control. So the Pisces Virgo eclipse, this is happening on an axis of health. This is personal, physical health, as well as mental, emotional, and spiritual health. You can look to see what houses Virgo and Pisces fall in your natal chart to see what two main areas of life will be undergoing change for you this eclipse season. During this lunation, we are being called to take a final look at the Virgo part of our natal chart for a final release and or surrender, as we've been having eclipses in this area of our chart for the last year and a half. Virgo is associated with health, work, jobs, employment, co-workers, diet and exercise, health, day-to-day daily routine, organization, as well as small pets and animals. The ruler of this lunation is Mercury, the planet of information and communication. Mercury is in its fall in Pisces at the moment, as well as retrograde. This means communication and information can feel delayed, foggy, confusing, and or emotional. Mercury will be retrograde most of the month, which means it's not a great time to start anything new. Rather, it's best to use this energy to redo, revise, revisit, and reevaluate major and minor areas of our life. And also ask for second opinions from trusted people on the outside looking in, as Mercury can be foggy and emotional on a personal, decisive level. This eclipse is harmoniously aspecting Jupiter, the planet of luck, abundance, and growth, bringing expansive blessings, especially as Jupiter is exalted at the 15th degree in the sign of Cancer. We'll have a beautiful trine from the Sun to Jupiter happening Thursday, in addition to Jupiter beginning to station to go direct March 11th. This can bring an added sense of wisdom, fortune, blessings, and culmination points. We do have a lot of planets in the water sign of Pisces, which can heighten feelings, but can also heighten intuition, alignment, and compassion. What area of life will this lunar eclipse be happening for you based upon your rising sign? For Libra rising, this eclipse is happening in your 12th house. This could be a transformative culmination point around the unseen realms, behind-the-scenes work, spirituality, mysticism, the subconscious programming, self-undoings, jails and hospitals, as well as retreats, ashrams, and music and art. For Scorpio rising, this eclipse is happening in your 11th house. This could bring transformative culmination points around large groups of people, friendships, networks, organizations, progressive ideas, as well as future hopes and wishes. For Sagittarius rising, this eclipse is happening in your 10th house. This could be a transformative culmination point around one's career, work, leadership, authority, status, public image, parental figures, notoriety, and achievement. For Capricorn rising, this eclipse is happening in your 9th house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with long-distance travel, higher learning, publishing and teaching, religion, philosophy, government institutions, as well as gurus and pilgrimages. For Aquarius rising, this eclipse is happening in your 8th house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with shared money, shared resources, investments, inheritances, taxes, loans, psychology, as well as intimacy and deep bonds. For Pisces rising, this eclipse is happening in your 7th house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with personal relationships, business relationships, marriages, contracts, negotiations, agreements, collaborations, and legal documents. For Aries rising, this eclipse is happening in your 6th house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with one's health, work, employment, co-workers, diet, exercise, daily routine, organization, as well as small pets and animals. For Taurus rising, this eclipse is happening in your 5th house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with one's creativity, children, dating, romance, celebrations, joy, hobbies, entertainment, and small businesses. For Gemini rising, this eclipse is happening in your 4th house. This could bring a transformative culmination point having to do with one's home life, family, property, emotional security, inner safety, ancestral roots, and tradition. For Cancer rising, this eclipse is happening in your 3rd house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with one's communication, how one thinks and speaks, local community, neighborhood, transportation, short-form learning and writing, online content, as well as extended family and siblings. For Leo rising, this eclipse is happening in your 2nd house. This could be a transformative culmination point having to do with one's income, how you make money, personal resources, physical material possessions, food styles, values, as well as one's self-esteem and self-worth. And last but not least, for Virgo rising, this eclipse is happening in your 1st house of you. This could bring transformative culmination points having to do with yourself, your identity, physical body, outward appearances, and new endeavors. Full moon lunar eclipse blessings to you all.